Hello and welcome back to our Bannerlord challenge, and we're here at Poros. Now, obviously, last time you saw me at Poros, I had a bit of a problem with the loyalty because I was actually hoping to get the loyalty below 45 so we could actually get it all the way down to rock bottom. You know, we could actually get it to 0, try to increase the chances of a rebellion occurring. And so, well... what can I do? All right, so there's two options. Obviously, the one option is to go in there, kill a couple of guards, try to reduce the security. That's a pretty good way to do it. It is quite high on the effort scale, though, because obviously I do have to survive against a myriad of opponents that are attempting to kill me, which is obviously maybe not the best idea, but... there's also something else that I can do, which is this. Yes, I could just use a scheme. I could use a scandal to reduce his loyalty. As you can see, however, it was actually extremely unlikely. This was not the percentage chance at the time, by the way. The percentage chance at the time that I had was about 48%, somewhere around there, I think. So that's the reason why we were able to reduce the loyalty from 50 all the way down to 40. And now as a result, I will be able to go in here and incite this rebellion. Now, I know, okay, now here's the thing. You can see that my money situation has now started to, well, let's just say, depreciate rather considerably. So I'm going to need to do something about that. Ooh, this is a cool new place to fight. I like it. Yeah, I'm liking this a great deal. Unfortunately, the enemy is obviously just going to run straight into us here, so we can't really appreciate it that much, and we can't use our thrown weapons as much as I would want to, but, you know, that's just how it goes. Anyway, we'll hopefully be able to achieve victory here relatively simply. Yeah, that's usually the case. The guards are just not numerous enough to be able to defeat all of these opponents, and, well, that's absolutely fine with me. Anyway, there we go. Zero loyalty in Poros. Here we have Zionica over there, Western Empire, and so on and so forth. I mean, it would probably be a good idea. Can I actually install anyone here? I don't think I have anyone here, to be honest. I mean, this guy is at 12 relation. No, I don't have anyone here, but I could technically do a notable extortion, or I could do forced tribute. I think forced tribute might actually be kind of cool. So we're just going to do that real fast. And as I say, I'm going to have to do a little bit of something in regards to my money situation. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to do some smithing, not sure if I'm just going to do something else in that regard, not entirely sure what. We can obviously sell some stuff to maybe make that a little bit easier for us. But yeah, this is actually one of those times where having a one-handed, and a one-handed that is super, super quick, because obviously I have a pretty significant amount of one-handed skill as well, it makes everything so simple. And you wouldn't think that, you know, you wouldn't think a one-handed is going to be this powerful, but it actually is. It's really surprising, actually. It's one of those things that you just think, wow, okay, that's actually super good in comparison to what you would normally think, because you'd think, oh yeah, get a two-handed, or, you know, get a polearm or something like that, and then you're going to be having a much better time of things. But no, actually, surprisingly enough, a one-handed with the right perks, and you know, technically there are a number of very, very good perks that you can take, and obviously some of them are not so good. However, let me just tell you something. I don't know whether you've taken a look at the changelog in the new version of Bannerlord, but obviously they've just released a new branch to the beta version. I think it's the beta version. I'm actually not entirely sure now, but I saw a bunch of patch notes and I was like, oh, okay, this is looking mighty fine, and they're actually improving things dramatically. And I was thinking to myself, whoa, okay, this is cool, because that means that the various perks, and they actually listed a whole bunch of them. I don't actually know which ones they were, but they listed a whole bunch of perks about which ones they were going to improve and which ones they were going to rework and so on. And that basically says to me, oh yes, I am very, very pleased with this, because that means that we are now going to possibly see improvements to a variety of these perks that I have said over the course of my entire time playing Bannerlord that I would love to see a difference to them. Because some of these perks, and I'm not going to go into it now because let's face it, I could literally talk about these perks for about, I don't know, half an hour straight, maybe an hour. I mean, it very much depends. Anyway, I'm probably going to go for breeder, I guess. This seems pretty good because animals in your inventory have a very low chance to reproduce. Sometimes this can result in multiplicative bonuses and everything, so that's actually really, really cool. Otherwise, as you can see here, we have this guy who is okay, hello. I didn't even realize that this guy had so much in everything. Apparently he has so much in everything. I had no idea. All right, well, we're just gonna go for a couple of points here and there. I guess I'll just go for all the things that he's actually decent in, I suppose, kind of. He's got one-handed and he's got thrown weapons and everything, so this is kind of decent. And we'll go for some riding skill, I suppose. And then there's just a bunch of perks. This is where I really wish there was an automatic allocation of perks, because I don't really want to do this right now. I would like to just click a button and then just have them do that. But yeah, I'm just going to spend the focus points and everything, and we'll just see where we can go from there. We're just going to go for tactics for this guy, because as I say, this guy is probably going to be someone that's going to be moving into one of the towns just nearby to us right here. And we're going to go for some more cunning as a result of that. And we'll just go for some thrown weapon skill. There we go. All right, fantastic. And then we can do the gang trial really, really quickly. But yes, anyway, as I was saying, basically, if I were to make a video on, you know, my thoughts on the perks and everything, I could probably spend an hour talking about, you know, what I would like to see in regards to the perks specifically, because let's face it, like, there are so many really, really good opportunities in the perk tree for amazing benefits. And I'm talking about amazing, like really, really good. But they're not like that right now. They're not like that right now at all. So it's really sad, actually. It is really sad. Anyway, we're just going to be leaving this guy right here. Boom, there we go. And he's going to do his wonderful thing. We're just going to hopefully get a little bit more scheme percentage here as well. And yeah, we should probably... Yes, rebels. Look at that. The rebels have literally risen up against Faron, which is absolutely amazing. I always love that when that happens. Oh yeah, someone actually asked for a little bit of minor faction representation. All right, so don't worry about that. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So what we're going to do is we're just very quickly going to go ahead and just do a nice little auto-resolve here. And we're just going to take these prisoners, take the bushwhackers, because they are, of course, bandits. So we're just going to take those. And we're just going to head back on into Amatatis right here. All right, so yeah, anyway, as I say, I would be able to literally talk about these perks and provide suggestions and so on and so forth for what I'd like to see, but obviously I'm not going to do that in this video. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're just going to head straight on into the marketplace here. I have a massive amount of these swords still. I actually did make a masterwork version of the sword. As you can see, it does actually give me... I don't even... Now, see, now that's the funny thing, okay? I'm not going to talk about this for a huge amount of time either, because I don't want to, you know, absorb the time with, you know, useless rambling. It depends if you think it's actually useless rambling, to be honest, because sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. I don't know. I might have a point here or I might not. But what I wanted to bring to your attention here is my opinion that masterwork doesn't really give you that much of a benefit. Have you seen that right now? Because look at this. This is a two-handed sword, of course. Look at the damage on it. It does 112 cutting damage. Okay? So that is just that's a masterwork. That has a 10% chance to be made. Okay? And now we go to the normal version of the sword, and as you can see, it does 110 cutting damage instead of 112. So you're saying to me that I would smith all that time, and I'm talking about, you know, I have 253 in smithing right now, and I have a 10% chance to create a masterwork weapon if the difficulty requirements are met. So 90% of the time, I will not be getting a masterwork weapon. 90% of the time. So that's literally 9 out of 10 crafts are not going to result in a masterwork on average. Now, for me personally, I don't really agree that the stat change should be so minimal. I mean, you see exactly what's happened here. I mean, you see it. You know, it's literally a difference of 2. And yeah, there is a bit of extra thrusting speed, and a little bit of extra thrusting damage, and a little bit of extra handling, and I'm talking about 1 point in each of those things. But for me, I think a masterwork weapon that has a 10% chance to be made should give you a much greater benefit. Because if you're putting in that effort, if you're putting in the effort of getting your smithing skill to whatever it is, you know, whatever it needs to be, 200. It needs to be 200 to get the Mastersmith skill. If you're literally going to 200 with this thing, I'm going to expect a slightly better reward than 2 damage and some very minor increases. That's what I'm talking about, you see? Those are the kinds of things that I really, really think should be tweaked a little bit. You know, you don't have to make these weapons overpowered, of course, but it is a single-player experience. You got to remember that as well. We're not talking about an MMORPG where if the developers decided, oh yeah, we're going to make this one class amazingly overpowered and every other class is going to be 10% as powerful, then of course that's going to throw off the balance of everything. Of course that's going to throw off the balance, but that's not the way that this is. This is literally a single player experience, and in my opinion, it should be a fun one. You know, it should be a fun one. You should be able to basically be like, hey, I'm gonna make this sword, it's gonna be amazing, and I'm gonna love using it, and I'm gonna call it something really cool. You know, I'm gonna call it something like Bread Destroyer. You know, Bread Destroyer. You know, you get my point. And then obviously you do have the ability to create a legendary weapon, but this only gives you a 5% chance. And I wonder actually, has anyone created a legendary weapon? If you have created a legendary weapon, and you can actually tell me in the comments how much of a benefit this has given you on your particular weapon. Let's say, you know, I don't know, maybe it gives you 4 extra damage, you know, if it's double the amount of a masterwork, because obviously masterwork is 200. And then to get to legendary, you need to get to 275. And technically I could probably do this, but how much time investment would it actually require for me to do that? Because if you think about it, I'm actually using a mod, right? I'm using a mod that actually does increase my experience gain by 50%. You see, that's the thing. I'm doing that because obviously I'm making a series right now and I don't want it to be you know, a little bit grindier, you know, because obviously if I'm playing a specific kind of mod that changes things fundamentally, and I'm talking about Fourberie here, of course. So I'm talking about if we deviate from the standard, you know, the standard line of progression. In other words, we're not going to do the whole, you know, you start off at 0, do some tournaments, recruit some people, fight some bandits, go into mercenary ship, then do vassalage, then become your own ruler. We're not doing that same thing, you see. So that's the reason why using a mod like Chaos's Tweaks, for example, to increase the experience gain by a small amount, I mean, technically 50% is not even that much. I could increase it much more. I could increase it to 400%, 600%, or even more than that if you wanted to be crazy. So that's what I'm trying to say here. It is quite harsh to assume that you'd get to 275 and then you'd make a legendary weapon and then you'd think to yourself, oh yeah, this legendary weapon right here, it's 3 points better in damage. You know what I mean? I don't know. Okay, well, I see. Look at what happened. I went into an absolute rambling rant about how we, you know, how smithing should be. It should be better, in my opinion. Or should we say, how smithing should provide you with a greater benefit in regards to masterwork weapons. I'm not even talking about, you know, how much, you know, they should award you for money or anything. All right, well, There we go. Rant over, rant over. Don't worry, don't worry. I've stopped now, but I hope that maybe you see my point of view. You know, maybe you see my point of view. Otherwise, we're just going to do this little grand heist right here. I've actually found that doing one scam, then going in for a forced extortion or tribute or something like that, and then doing a grand heist is possibly the fastest way that you can get 40 relation with the person in question. So, yeah, so for anyone that's playing Fourberie, there you go. That's a pretty good way of getting relation. Obviously, you've got to bear in mind that I do actually have a couple of perks that actually provide me with more relation, dependent on who I'm interacting with. So, for example, if I interact with someone of the same gender, then I actually do get, I think, 20% additional relation. And I think there's also a perk that I have that gives me a percentage chance to gain double relation from any interaction. It is obviously a percentage chance at that point. So sometimes I could get 18 times 2, for example. Sometimes that could potentially happen. Unfortunately, I do not have any other companions right now, so I will not be able to install anyone here, but I will be able to do the gang trial, which is really quite nice. And otherwise, apart from this, once we've done this, I'll be heading over to a forest bandit hideout, and we'll be attempting to try and call some people to my side so that we can actually run around with a bunch of bandits and things like that. Just going to try and do a couple of things that I haven't done before in the Fourberie mod, and then we'll see what happens. Whoa, that was 100% accuracy right there. Really nice and easy. Very good. Okay, so relation is important. There we go. Yes, thank you very much. And give me a recommendation, sir. And there we are. All right, perfect. Okay, so we're now installed here. Ooh, hello. Wait a minute. What do we have here? Mountain bandits. Okay. Well, that doesn't really matter to me so much. Ooh, hilariously enough, we are actually at war against the Battanians. That might actually be a pretty fun thing to do. Why not? Let's go and see if we can fight some Battanians. That might be kind of cool. All right, hello there, sir. Please do not attack me. Oh, they want to attack me together. Oh yeah, what do you bet? Aha, yes. Look at him. Look at him. He is literally just booking it after us right now. Okay, well, whatever the case, 270. Only 270? Okay, I was actually hoping for a little bit more than that, to be honest, but okay. Yeah, request nearby people to follow you. There we go. And, okay, so can I get any more than this, actually? You know what? Haha, here we go. Perfect. All right, let's do this. Okay, so we have all of the forest bandits. I'm going to request nearby bandits. There are no more. Okay, no more around here, which is absolutely fine. Let me just see if I have anything to spend. You can pick up spears or weapons from the ground while mounted. What I find really amusing about this is that this is a great, this is a great benefit, it allows you to rearm yourself pretty easily, and that's pretty nice. But how are you going to do that from a horse? You know what I mean? Like, long reach indicates that you have an extremely long arm. I mean, I'm going to assume that you're going to, swivel yourself off the saddle and just keep yourself on with your other arm, I guess, and then you're going to just pick it up and then, put it into your holster or belt or sheath or whatever you've got there. So I'm going to assume that's how they intend that to be. But yeah, probably not going to be. Actually, wait a minute. Winning battles gives 20% more morale and renown. That's actually incredible, to be honest. And this is what I find really amusing as well. I don't understand why winning battles giving 20% more morale and renown would be on this perk. Because surely this perk would be somewhere else. Wouldn't it be somewhere else? Like, I don't know, tactics, leadership, charm, steward, any of these, instead. But I guess we'll take it. I don't think it's actually going to give me that benefit anyway, because we did do a little bit of a test earlier on in the series where we basically had a look at how much renown I was gaining, and it seems as though only famous commander is being taken into account. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe some of the other renown-based percentage increasing perks are not actually working as intended. At least that's what I've seen. I don't know whether maybe I'm looking at it wrong, you know what I mean? Maybe I'm looking at it wrong, maybe something else is going on there, I'm not entirely sure, but that's kind of what I've observed so far. I'm just hoping that I've looked at it wrong or something, I don't know, because I'd love to be able to gain I think it's 90% now, or is it 100% extra renown, because I think with these perks, I theoretically have 50% from Famous Commander, I have something else with 30%, and then the one that I've just got now, that is 20%. So theoretically, I have 100% additional renown gain. But I don't think that is actually the case. I don't think that's actually what's happening, which is a little bit disappointing, you know, suffice it to say, because I actually think that it's pretty cool to gain a large amount of renown, and it would be great if they could stack. But as I say, as I was talking about in the previous episode that I mentioned it, I'm not sure if it does. I'm really not sure if it does. Anyway, let me see if I can actually do something here. I am actually doing damage, but unfortunately I'm not doing enough damage for us to actually kill enemies. And they're seemingly living through multiple hits, which is not very good for me. There we go. Yeah. As you can see, look at that. 92 damage, but not a kill. Should really go for the head. But I can't really do that easily. Alright, seems like that is perfectly fine. Seems like we're basically done. Alright, so we just wanted to chase down a couple of extra people here, and now this is what's absolutely wonderful about doing battle right next to your own hideout. Yeah, this is going to be real nice, because we're going to be able to take these guys prisoner. I'm going to take both of them prisoner, actually. I was kind of partially thinking that what I'd do is execute people. I know. It's one of those things where I'm just thinking to myself, should I execute? I don't know whether that's a good idea, because if I do execute, what's going to happen is that everyone is just going to absolutely hate us, and it's going to be extremely difficult for us to do anything in regards to scheming and things. So that's partially the reason why I didn't really want to go that route, but there's just something about executing people and actually making it so that they don't return into the game to provide their combat strength to their faction. That really makes a huge difference. It really does. To your own success, to your staying power, and generally just being able to control more of the map. It really makes a huge difference gameplay-wise. Anyway, there we go. We're now giving, well, look at that, 1,115 combat strength. That is very nice. 3,500 for the Forest Bandits, which is pretty cool. And we can even give away some stuff if we want to. I mean, I did get a lot of stuff in the previous fight. I am actually wondering, can I give food? Does food actually give them anything? Because I seemingly have a lot of food right now. Where is my... There's my grain and my fish. Alright, so let's actually see whether it gives us anything. The bandits don't need your food. Oh, okay. Okay, fine. Excuse me then. Excuse me. All right. Yeah, I guess that's fine then. All right. I thought they would, you know. I thought it would be actually kind of cool if we could do that, but no. All right. Well, we've got some more prisoners here. The Forest Bandits were actually able to capture a couple of extras as well. So this is also an absolutely wonderful thing that you can do, because if you have some people following you, especially in this case, bandits, then you're going to be able to speak to them, take them into your army, and then you can, once again, put these prisoners in here, and then you can get them to, you know, donate and so on. And that's absolutely amazing. So let's just go in here. I'm just going to do a little bit of a scam here, and then we'll do the taking back of our territory. Wonderful. All right. So first of all, I probably want to do a little bit of selling potentially. I mean, here's the funny thing about this: 97,000 in the marketplace here. If I sell this, 57,000 just from armor. You see what I mean? That's why I'm talking about. I literally have not even done half as many vassal battles that I could potentially do, and that's the reason why smithing isn't even necessary to make a lot of money. It's really not necessary. As I said before, I just wanted to do that just to show you that strategy that I had in mind. But yeah, that was the only reason actually. Anyway, let's just have a quick look here. Wait a minute. Do I actually want to smelt anything more, or do I just want to... Yeah, I think I'm just going to probably leave it. I'm just going to probably leave it, and then we're just going to sell that stuff. Because we are a criminal here right now. I'm just going to sell this one as well. Are we a criminal right here, actually? Yeah. We have 98 criminal rating in this area. That's hilarious. Okay, so any other vassals actually want to do battle with me? I highly doubt it, but you never know. You never know. All right, so let's just go straight on in here, and we're just going to sell some stuff. So generally what I could do is I could just sell absolutely every single weapon that we have. And I think I will do that just so that I can show you exactly how much money you can make even if you do not do any smithing. And you can see here 54,000, and once again I've not actually been doing any vassal battles, or very, very few vassal battles. But if you're doing a standard run, you know, if you're doing a standard run where you're running around with the primary function of basically just, you know, trying to attack as many vassals as possible, trying to get as much renown, as much influence as possible, it really makes a huge difference. It really does. Anyway, this might be a little bit, maybe a little bit problematic. Okay, well, let's have a look-see here. Okay, there's nothing really to do here. I am at full HP, so I'm pretty happy about that. Let's go straight on in. Caladog is waiting for us. Okay, This might be a bit dicey. This might be a bit dicey. I'm just gonna spread our people out right there, and then we're just gonna go straight on. And I'm just gonna tell my horse archers to charge, because that's what they do. They're pretty good at harassing the opponent and just making sure that they weaken them up a little bit before they reach our infantry and our archers. And I'm gonna try and do a little bit of something here with my thrown weapons as well. Alright, so I seem to have distracted the enemy's archers long enough for their infantry to be completely disorganized, and they have now started to literally just run straight into our archers. I mean, obviously this is not really my intention, you know, my intention was to literally just go there, try and fire off a couple of thrown weapons at our opponent, try to do some damage that way, but I certainly wasn't expecting the enemy's infantry to just give up the ghost, basically. They just literally decided to just do whatever. They really did not think that through very far. unfortunately for them. And there you go. That is a victory for us. A very, very simple one in actual fact. I really was not expecting that. Anyway, we're just going to go for a nice little auto-resolve to finish it off. And we can also take Caladog and all of the rest prisoner. Going to take all the prisoners, in fact. And we'll take all the loot too. I am overburdened. Ooh. This might be a little dicey. Okay, do you really want to fight me right now? No, you don't. You surely don't. Really? Oh, no, wait. Hello, hello. Okay, we might have some issues here. Possibly. No, you're actually leaving me alone. Oh, very strange. I would not have done... I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that if I were them. If I were them, I would have just gone straight on in. That would have made all the sense in the world. But there you go. Another 800 combat strength for the Forest Bandits. Another 4,000. Look at that. 4,000 combat strength for them. Very, very nice. And we can now continue to move around completely unburdened by basically anything. And yeah, as I said before, we have that increased experience. A little bit increased experience. And I still have not even reached 250 Impale. And funnily enough, I did get an achievement the other day, which is the reason why I actually wanted the achievements to be enabled, so that I can actually see these things. Because when you're playing and you're running around and you're, you know, slaying enemy units and you're capturing fiefs and everything and you're smithing stuff, trading and so on, you don't usually see this kind of thing. You know what I mean? You don't usually get updates in real time about how you're doing, whereas with the achievement system, you obviously do get a couple of things that tell you, oh, hey, you did this. And that's the reason why I generally wanted the achievements enabled. So, the achievement that I actually got was defeat 500 enemies while on horseback with ranged units. Or with ranged weapons, should we say, not units. And I was thinking to myself, really? I've actually done that with this playthrough? I was really kind of... I was really kind of surprised. I'm not sure if it's cumulative, so maybe it is actually cumulative, and it is going to be, you know, adding the various ranged kills that I got from previous series. That could potentially be the case as well. So don't take anything away from that, but that's kind of why I'm thinking to myself, okay, what's actually going on with the amount of experience that I currently have for my thrown weapon skill, because theoretically I should have so much more. But you can imagine that even if let's say I didn't have Chaos's tweaks installed and I had, you know, the base game value of experience rates, it would just be incredibly difficult. It would be very, very difficult to get to that point. Anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna go very quickly here and just sell this stuff because we don't really need this. As you can see, another 37,000, another 20,000 from that as well. And no, we don't need to take back anything. Okay, so that's perfectly fine. Great. And yeah, I think that is probably it for this episode. As we have captured a couple of people, we've just completely boosted the Forest Bandits up hugely. I was actually trying with all of these battles to get some more promotions, because the more promotions we can get, the better, because obviously that's going to make more companions. More companions means we can install more of our gang members in the various towns around the land, but unfortunately I wasn't able to do that this time around. Seems like it is quite difficult to actually get them leveled up. Seems like not one particular unit is gaining all of the kills, unfortunately. Or there's just not enough enemies for them to go around. Anyway, as you can quite clearly tell, though, the rebellion is going very well within Praven, as that has just been the latest to fall. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 rebel fiefs. And hilariously enough, the Vlandians have been completely eviscerated from the outside here, because as you can quite clearly tell, the Western Empire moved in to Charos. They have now taken that, and they've also taken Pen Cannock. And I'm going to assume that that is just purely for the fact that the Vlandians can't actually do anything against that. Oh, okay, we can make peace with the Southern Empire. Sure. Let's make peace with the Southern Empire. I'm just going to get some relation with this guy as well. Kind of makes sense for us to do that. And let's just take a quick look at our combat strength here. So the Northern Empire has 5,700. Obviously, this really doesn't even matter that much. You've got to bear that in mind. Combat strength doesn't really matter that much at the moment, although if you are like the Vlandians and you only have 2,600, then it probably does, you know, it probably does. Anyway, we still have yet to actually get any tier 5 units, so I can't make any assassins right now, but maybe maybe I'll be able to rescue a couple of units. As I said before, I kind of made that bit of a mistake where we did actually rescue some tier 5s, but I didn't think about the assassin training, so we kind of let them go, unfortunately. But otherwise, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.